This week on Fargo episode 9, Emmit finally comes clean, Varga eats his ice cream in the bathroom, and Gloria needs a hug. Hey guys, Ryan here. You can find me on Twitter at RyanEricP. And before we jump into Fargo episode 9, do me a favor and hit subscribe. The American Gods season finale is almost here, and Buddy and Chastity will be breaking it down. Plus, the GameSpot of Thrones crew is getting ready for winter. But me, I'm still obsessed with Fargo, so let's jump into it. Episode 9 of Fargo Season 3 opens up with another day in Minnesota and another dead Stussy. Mimo adds to the death toll yet again by murdering Marvin, an innocent man enjoying his morning newspaper and coffee. We find out why a little bit later on. What follows is a heartbreaking scene between Emmit and Gloria. It's tragic because Emmit finally confesses the truth about how he tricked his now dead brother out of the stamp collection. Their father had passed away at an early age, and Emmit took full advantage of his younger brother. He's heartbroken about his own sins and comes clean about how Ray actually died.
30 years I've been killing him. That was just when he fell.
It was quite a twist. Many viewers, myself included, believed that Ray was just a jealous loser brother set to steal from Emmit. But it turns out that Emmit built his whole life and an empire of success on top of the deception.
What's that old quote? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
That line sounds familiar.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
We then find out that Nikki and Mr. Wrench have formed into quite an awesome tag team. Using the element of surprise, a fake grenade, and some heavy gunfire, they take control of Varga's command center on wheels and, more importantly, his laptop. Any chance Varga cleared his browser history recently? Nikki's phone call to Varga was equally awesome. She's confident and in control, while Varga may have overestimated her all along. She has the evidence to take him down and demands $2 million. I couldn't help but smile during this entire conversation. Mr. Wrench watching Nikki make her demands while she's painting her toenails, and VM Varga squirming on the other end of the phone. Also, what about that framed photo over Varga's left shoulder? That actually reminded me of a similar shot from the Fargo movie. Well, without all the snow. Meanwhile, Emmit is put into a holding cell after his confession, and he meets with the other inmates.
Nice sweater.
It's a cardigan.
Two things here. Why not reveal that person's face? Is it someone from a previous season? And second, who knew Noah Hawley was a fan of Dumb and Dumber?
Pull over! No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
Off to yet another crime scene where we find yet another Stussy has been murdered. After some quick investigating, Chief Modamic believes that he has the case solved, at least with all the evidence that Varga produced for him. And I guess it is believable. There's a confession and a ton of evidence and facts to support his story. Problem is, that's not what really happened. Back at the station, Gloria follows up with Mrs. Goldfarb because she has questions about Emmett's alibi, but Ruby won't tell her the truth. Despite Emmett's confession, she still proclaims that he was at dinner with her during his brother's murder. It makes you wonder why she's covering for Emmit. Is she also on Varga's payroll? Or would a murder charge threaten her chances of buying Stussy lots? Regardless, I really do think she's hiding something. They're quickly interrupted by a celebratory police station after bringing in Mo's suspect, the man that took the fall for all 4 Stussy murders.
Cut him loose, deputy. We got our man. That's an order.
The problem here is Gloria's facts aren't strong enough to stand up against Mo's facts, and she has no choice but to set Emmit free. It's pretty alarming how easy it was for Varga and his crew to cover up all the murders and fabricate a story that even the cops would fall for. So what do you do before a big meeting? Well, if you're VM Varga, you enjoy binge eating. Specifically, that's Rocky Road ice cream inside a bathroom stall. Yep, Varga continues to be one of the most disturbing villains we've seen on TV in quite some time. What follows is the long-awaited showdown between Nikki and Varga. It was a literal chess match that was absolutely tremendous. Wisely, Nikki passes up on Varga's tea, as well as the extra zeros that he wants to add to her paycheck should she take a job on his team. She also doubts that Varga even brought the cash with him.
There's a 60% chance that briefcase is full of your dirty underwear.
That's definitely another Big Lebowski reference, right?
What the? Have they called yet? What the hell is this?
My dirty undies, dude.
Laundry. The whites.
Nikki knows full and well that she has a gun drawn on her. Mimo is in fact waiting with a finger on the trigger from a room above. And Varga has other tricks. The lobby is filled with men dressed exactly like him should any type of shootout occur. But once again, Nikki was prepared for this, thanks to her teamwork with Mr. Wrench.
See, you got cocky. Forgot to count all the pieces on the board.
Question for you. Why wouldn't Mr. Wrench take out Mimo once and for all right there? Yes, I know they're still running from the law and they don't need any more bodies stacking up, but it would make it much easier on them if they just got rid of Varga's right-hand man. Back at the station, Gloria tells Emmit that he is free to go. It's another heartbreaking moment. Gloria was so close to the actual truth, but now has seemingly lost her sense of purpose.
You think the world is something, then it turns out to be something else.
Emmit couldn't come clean to Gloria about Varga and his entire operation, and he's set free. He finds Mimo and Varga waiting for him in the parking lot. And with an extremely dark and grim outlook, Varga summarizes the world for Emmit.
The problem is not that there is evil in the world, the problem is that there is good. Because otherwise, who would care?
So Gloria ends up at the bar and Winnie joins her for a drink. Gloria likens herself to Minsky, the android from her stepfather's book. The droid thinks and says he can help, much like Gloria, but neither can get anything done. She feels extremely alone and unnoticed. Her theory? She doesn't actually exist. But that's when Winnie proves her otherwise. She gives her 100% attention, shares a hug with her, and she's noticed by Winnie. Gloria heads to the restroom and tests the automatic sink and soap dispenser. Finally, it works. Has anyone gotten this much joy of washing their hands in a public bathroom? All jokes aside, this made me think of an earlier conversation in the season when Gloria is questioning the producer Howard Zimmerman about her stepfather.
It talks about how we're all just particles. We're floating out there. We're moving through space. Nobody knows where we are. And then every once in a while, bang, we collide. And suddenly for maybe a minute, we're real. And then we float off again.
The particles colliding at this moment are Gloria and Winnie. Gloria has felt disconnected for quite some time. Her longtime marriage failed, a new police chief took over at work, and she's overwhelmed by the technology surrounding her life. Gloria was used to living in self-doubt. She literally felt like she had disappeared. But thanks to Winnie, she's finally noticed. Episode 9 ends at the IRS. It may not be checkmate, but Nikki has covered her bases. She sent LaRue Dollard all the incriminating evidence to ruin Varga's overhaul of Stussy Lots Limited. So how will this end? Well, I hope that Nikki prevails in her standoff with Varga, and I also hope the same for Gloria, that she proves to truly solve the Stussy case and put an end to Moe's celebration party. But I have doubts. I also have some other questions I hope to be answered. Is Yuri alive, or is he in hell? And how is Sai's recovery going? Will we see him again? Finally, we heard about Stage 4 and Stage 5 from Varga and Mimo. Is there a Stage 6 to their plan? We have one more episode left to find out. Guys, thanks again for your support all season long. We only have one more episode left. Hit me up in the comments below and let me know what you think is gonna happen. We'll see you next week.